What's up, Cloud Gamers? Welcome to the Cloud Gaming X channel. So today we are going to be doing a Cloud Gaming X podcast. Give me a second. Let me just make sure that this is all set up and ready to go. Let me just make sure I can see you guys and you guys can see me, because that kind of defeats the whole purpose. So just give me a second to set this up. Hopefully we don't have any issues with this podcast. Give me a second. Sorry, was trying to finalize things with the little one, making sure the kiddo's in bed and all that fun jazz. So again, give me a second to just finalize everything. Run a little late here on this podcast. Cool. Okay. Yo, Victor, what's good? Sipping gaming. I think that's how you say your name. Let me know if I'm saying it wrong. But Switch B. What's up, fellas? What up? All right, cool. What up, Grosk? Because Stadia doesn't have take care of the kid for sure. Kids come first. Family comes first. For shizzle. All right, this is gonna be a fun one. With Stadia release date being officially confirmed, I think it'll be good. And then last week we got to experience Microsoft Project Xcloud, so I think it'll be good to finally talk about my experience. I've been wanting to do this because, honestly speaking, I just had so much to talk about with my experiences, and so I felt like I was going to make a separate video about this, but then we agreed that we should just do a podcast talking about this. So that's why this podcast was created. Don't forget, y'all, every Monday at 9:30, we have a podcast on this channel. We definitely try to feature the Stadia community. Last week we had Chase and we had Eddie from Stadia Player One. If you guys, again, haven't checked out that podcast too, great guys for sure. So just to get started in this podcast, I just want to talk about why this channel was created, right? And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to give shout outs to the creators, right? So before this channel was created, there wasn't a lot of people covering Stadia, and it was actually getting me pissed off. Honestly speaking, I'm the type of guy that if there's an issue, instead of sitting around and doing nothing about it, it's a life lesson I've been taught to do something about it. So, you see all these people, big YouTubers bashing Stadia, and I'm like Googling, searching for YouTubers that cover Stadia to do something about these negativity that's going around with Stadia. And honestly speaking, no one was covering it. So I was like, all right, something needs to be done. So that's how this channel came together. As you'll see too, I started with immediately reaction videos, right? Just reacting to some of those negative videos. But the reason I'm saying all of this is because I just want to talk about how difficult it is to create content if you're a YouTuber. I'm sure Eddie from Stadia Play One can attest to this. I'm sure the glory of Stadia can attest to this. I'm sure Chase, who just started a new channel, by the way, if you guys haven't checked it out, called Stadia Talk, check that out. So again, the reason I'm talking about all of this is because I feel like it's difficult for YouTubers to keep this grind going, and my thing is to build a community where people start talking positively about Stadia. So again, that's why this channel was created. So if I see creators who are doing that, I like to give them shout outs, right? So again, I'm going to name the people that I know. You guys can post in the comments if there's other YouTubers that we are missing. So to get started, right? Stadia Talk, Chase, he just kicked off this new channel. I believe it was last week. I think it's every Saturday, or probably it seems like more than every Saturday now. He covers discussions when it comes to Stadia content. So definitely check out Stadia Talk. That's one. All right, you have the glory of Stadia. That's two. Funny Guy. If you guys are looking for a sense of humor when it comes to Stadia and coverage, definitely check out his channel. You have Eddie from Stadia Player One. He makes great content. I like the way he records and his videography. So definitely check that out. He's trying to post 2 videos a week, which I think is pretty cool. You have Generation of Stadia. Homie just took off. He started about a month ago. I've never seen growth like that, but I feel like, does a great job with just professional Stadia coverage. I feel like when it comes to just, if you want to get someone to learn about Stadia, to not just learn, but to learn about Stadia, that's a good channel to just throw them. So again, check out Generation if you haven't. And then for the best podcast, hands down, I have to say Stadia Cast. So again, for those of y'all here, people who are going to watch this afterwards, check out those channels. I feel like they do a good job covering Stadia. So enough of the rambling. Again, just want to give shout outs to homies, people who are covering Stadia. It's great to have a community. Again, when I started this, there was hardly any, so it's pretty cool to see this growing, especially knowing that this is going to be coming out soon, less than a month, fellas, less than a month. All right, so I'm going to take time to see what's going on in the comments, and then we're going to hop right into this podcast. All right, so Grosk, what up? Victor, what's up? Siphon Gaming, what up? It's like Siphon. All right, cool. Got that. Chase was gonna go off on me. It's just like, nah, I'm not a hero, man. But this is cool. It's good to see, again, a community growing with Stadia creators. All right, so this podcast, fellas, I think is going to be a fun one, right? So as you guys know, I was at PAC West in, I believe, end of August, and I actually got a hands-on experience with Stadia. You guys have seen some of the videos I posted about that. And then just last week, I got invited to test out Microsoft Project Xcloud, which is really fun, but again, has its own issues, which I'm going to be addressing here. And I've been on GeForce Now even before it was what it was, if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense with that sentence. But GeForce Now, the way it is now, this is not how it used to be. GeForce Now actually used to be a paid per month service. You paid $6.99 for GeForce Now, and they made games exclusively for the platform. People who have GeForce Now, if you see games like The Witcher and it says free, right? I think it's The Witcher 3 and it says free. That is a game that I actually paid full price for. And then I actually had to pay $6.99, just exactly like Stadia is doing right now. You pay full price, and then you have to pay $6.99 a month to use the service to stream the games. So I was an OG member before GeForce Now became what it is now, which is pretty much a beta. And then if you have games in Steam, you can use those games. You can play those games for free as long as you purchase it in Steam. So again, I'm an OG GeForce Now member. I used to pay per month for services, and then they discontinued that and put it in beta. So when it comes to cloud gaming, I think I have some experience, man. And then on Live too, I was a member of On Live back in the days. So I have experience. So hopefully I'm not just talking on my behind when I'm comparing all these 3 services. And also I was a beta tester for EA Atlas as well, which I will talk about, not a lot in detail, but I'll mention that a little bit here. So what this podcast is going to look like is I'm going to start with one of the service. I'm going to talk about the pros. I'm going to talk about the cons. And then once I'm done with one, I'm move to the next one, talk about the pros, talk about the cons. And then at the end of this podcast, I'm going to let you guys know which I feel like has the most potential to come out on top out of all of these 3. Well, if you throw EA Atlas, you can say 4, but I'll tell you why I don't see that being a competitor going forward. But anyway, so let's get right into this. Hey Victor, what's up? I got annoyed with Bill about 5G early. He's a Verizon hater. Bill who? When you say Bill, who you talking about? Kenny G, what's good? Noble Arcade did a couple of good videos regarding Stadia. Alright, we'll check it out, man. Definitely. Yo, hit me up in Discord about that. I might forget after this podcast, just being real. But yeah, hit me up in Discord and I'll definitely check that out. And by the way, plug in. If you guys haven't checked out the new Discord, do so. You guys asked for us to make a specific Discord. We had a Discord with our old, I keep saying old channel. It's not an old channel. Our other channel, we cover Nintendo Switch content. We have a Discord for that. And so when we created this channel, we just plugged this into that Discord, and we had people coming in saying, hey, who the hell are all these other people talking about Switch related stuff? And so you guys asked that we made a specific Discord for this channel. So that is created, and yep, it's in the, I'm just looking at the description below, and it's in there. So if you guys want to be part of that and stay up to date with everything regarding the channel and just cloud gaming in general, definitely check out that Discord. All right, so the first the first one I want to talk about, the first cloud gaming service platform. You can even go ahead and call it an online console, which some people are doing. It's Microsoft Project Xcloud. Now, again, just last week I got accepted into the beta, and I was really pumped. I love Microsoft first party studio, even though I think when it comes to the big three, Nintendo and Sony, I feel like they are lacking. I feel like they in third, right? You can argue that Sony and Nintendo fight for first and second with the companies that have the best exclusive. You can't argue. God of War, Uncharted, those games are incredible. And you have Breath of the Wild, you have Mario Odyssey, those games are incredible. And then, Microsoft, you have your Halos and your Fables, and, it's about it, and your Gears. That's about it. Anyway, pros about the Microsoft Project xCloud is I like that they put brand new games on there. And guys, seriously, so this is free right now for you to test out. But they pretty much saying you can beat Gears of War 5. If you haven't played Halo 5 Guardian, you can actually beat Halo 5 Guardian. If you haven't played Killer Instinct, you can play that. Sea of Thieves, you can play that. Those are the 4 games that they have right now for that service. So Gears 5, you can play it from beginning to end. You can beat that whole game for free. That is flipping awesome. That is that is awesome, guys. If you haven't played Gears, this is a free trial for you to play Gears. What more do you need? Get on the service and play Gears of War 5 for free. Anyway, pros is that they have new games, right? Like Gears on there. They have Halo 5, which is, an old game, but the fact that a Halo game is available on there for you to play is pretty cool. Sea of Thieves, I would say I was expecting Crackdown to be there. I feel like that's a newer game from the Microsoft studio, but that wasn't there. But again, they say that they are going to be rotating. But to stay on topic, new games are on here for you to try for free, which I think is a big pro for this Project xCloud. Another pro here is that you can play these games, you can play the multiplayer mode. So if you are into Gears of War 5, I know Gears 4, a lot of people were into the multiplayer. With this, you can actually play multiplayer. So you can, it's the full-fledged experience for you to experience in the service. So I think those are pros, right? You get new games, and then you get to play the full version of those games. You get to play the single player, you get to play the multiplayer. So kudos to Microsoft for them to just throw. Gears just came out last month, was it? Or September? It's a pretty new game. Again, you get that whole game for free. And you get the single player and multiplayer. good pros. Now, my biggest con with Project Xcloud so far has to be the latency issue. I don't know what's going on, and I've been reading some comments. People on Reddit too are talking about this. It's a terrible performing service so far. I tried it on multiple phones. I tried it on my Wi-Fi at work and my Wi-Fi at home just to make sure it wasn't my Wi-Fi, and my experience has been terrible. It's years. If you guys saw the video I made, was almost unplayable. It was almost unplayable. And I was just like, I'd rather just stick to playing this on my PC. So my thing is, I hope that people don't, this is not the first, I hope this is not people's first take on cloud gaming, right? They try this and they're like, oh shoot, this is terrible. Is this how all the cloud gaming platform or service is? I hope not, because again, talk about GeForce and Stadia later on, and I'm going to tell you how that experience was, which I thought was great. Anyway, I feel like personally, the latency issue, it's a big issue for Project Xcloud, and I hope that they do fix it. The other thing that I just figured out, someone tweeted me about this saying I made a video about Gears 5 and how I couldn't connect my 4G network to test it out. And someone saying you have to go to the menus and actually enable this, which I think is the dumbest thing. Like, how is someone supposed to know that? Anyway, you can use 4G to play these games, but the truth of the matter is, if it's not enabled, if you don't know how to do this, which a lot of people are going to have an issue with this, then you will think that it's not available. So a con is that is not enabled from the get-go. You have to manually do that yourself. But overall, I like what Microsoft is doing with this platform. They said that they're going to rotate the games. So these 4 games that we have right now, and by the way, I tried Killer Instinct. That game is really difficult to play because of the latency issue. And then Sea of Thieves is a pretty cool sea online voyage game, if you want to call it that. I played a lot when I owned a Xbox. I still own it, but I hardly touch it, so I say I don't own it, but I do own an Xbox. But I don't play that game much. It came for free with my membership, and I rarely touch it. So, but again, if you guys are into that sea battle, check that out. It's fun, but it's not my thing. So I like that they're going to be rotating the games. I think it'll be cool to get stuff like racing games, right? Like Forza Horizon. They should bring Forza Horizon 4 as the next game. I would definitely love to see that. Bring Crackdown as well. Those will be great games to definitely test out on the service. Let's see. Brandon, what's good, bro? How are you, man? Kenny G, Noble Arcade. Victor's talking about run, jump, stomp, bill. Competition is always good for consumers. I agree, 100%. 100%. It's good. So that's my pros and cons for the Microsoft Project Xcloud. And I think personally, I love the game selection that they have so far, but the latency is an issue, and I think that can be patched with a patch and an update. So hopefully they fix that quick. And it's not just me. I've again read it, and a lot of people are having these issues. So we're gonna move to the next service, which is GeForce Now. Like I stated earlier, GeForce Now has been in beta for almost 2 years now. And previous to that, they had a model where you had to pay $7 a month, kind of like what Stadia is doing, and then you purchase the game. They had their own dedicated store to where you purchase your game. They are doing, sorry to keep repeating myself, but they are doing the exact same, the exact same price model that Stadia has now. It's exactly what Nvidia GeForce was doing before they went into beta. You paid $6.99 to use their streaming service, and then they had their own store. They weren't going through Steam at the time. They had their own store, and they had their own games. So when they discontinued that service, they said all those games you can play for free now. So again, if you go into GeForce Now on your Nvidia Shield, you can, if you paid for The Witcher back then, you have that game for free pretty much. So explain what GeForce Now. So the pros of GeForce Now, I feel like, is the closest experience to a real life console when it comes to latency that I've experienced yet. It's very smooth. You guys see me playing videos of Destiny 2 Shadowkeep on there, and it honestly feels like I'm playing it on the console. The experience is really smooth, and it plays really well, and it works really well. So the other pro with GeForce Now, I feel like personally, is the fact that it has the biggest gaming library. It has pretty much all of Steam's library. There's some games that are not included, right? But the majority of the games on Steam you can play in this service. So the issue that you have with the beta for Project Xcloud is the fact that they only have 4 games to test out. With Google Stadia, it's a new platform. They're launching with this is right now. This about 40 games announced, 40 plus, but they're launching with 20 or 30 of those games. So the library is pretty small. But GeForce Now, again, just being able to use Steam as your storefront. If you own Steam, if you own the game on Steam, you can just play it on the service. I feel like it's a huge pro for this, which is also a con. I'm gonna get to that eventually. All right. So again, pros with GeForce Now, I feel like it's the most reliable streaming service to date. It's been in beta for the longest. Again, almost 2 years now. There's rumors that this is going to be coming out of beta this month when the new Nvidia Shield comes out on the 28th. So these, again, rumors that's coming on the 28th, which was leaked by Amazon. But then there's also rumors that GeForce Now is going to come out of beta then. So we'll see how that all plays out. It's going to be pretty exciting, pretty cool. So those are my pros for GeForce Now. So let's talk about some of my cons, right? You guys have seen me make rant videos after rant videos about this, right? A game, AAA game, come out on Steam and it's not available day one on GeForce Now, which is freaking frustrating, right? A game like Gears of War 5, people are like, yeah, that's a Microsoft first party exclusive. It's not gonna come on. Why would it come on GeForce Now? But the idea of GeForce Now is if you own any game on Steam, you should be able to play in GeForce Now. And actually, guys, Gears of War 5 came out on Steam for the first time this year, but it wasn't available on GeForce Now. So this gets me thinking, right? We're probably not going to get Red Dead Redemption 2 when it comes on PC on GeForce Now day one. And so that's the con that I have with this service. The fact that you're not guaranteed to get AAA titles day one when it releases on PC. We might get lucky, cross our fingers. Wolfenstein Youngblood took 2.5 weeks to come out on GeForce Now and after it came out on Steam. We got lucky with Borderlands 3. I feel like that was the first game in a while that came out same day released. I believe Ghost Recon Breakpoint, I think it was delayed for couple of days, but eventually came out. You can't rely in this service for AAA titles same day release. That is one of my biggest cons. And so I've been thinking about this a lot, just where should Nvidia take GeForce Now, and where should what should Steam do? This competition brewing with these big companies trying to launch a cloud gaming service. You have Microsoft in it, you have Sony in it, you have EA in it. Nintendo, this talks about them working with Microsoft to get their stuff going. So what is Steam doing to counter this, right? Have you thought about that question? T-Mac was good, bro. What's Steam doing to counter this? They haven't announced anything yet when it comes to cloud gaming. Lightbulb, why don't they just purchase GeForce Now? Seriously, think about that. Why don't they just purchase GeForce Now? They are already using Steam to get the games on their service. And something to know about Nvidia is sometimes I joke around and say they create concept to get bought out. Before the Nintendo Switch was born, there was something called the Nvidia Shield K1 tablet. This was a tablet that you connect a controller to, and you can use GeForce Now. They made games specifically for this portable tablet, but you can also, again, use GeForce Now on it. And people are saying that Nintendo kind of bought they saw what they were doing there, and that's kind of how the Switch was created, because they're using a new version of the Tegra chip that was in the old Nvidia Shield K1 tablet. So the joke is Nvidia creates a concept, creates a product to get bought out, or to get another company to, to license it to another company, the Tegra chip or the hardware or whatever. So my thing is, why don't they do it for this software, right? They have something that works. Like I stated, I feel like between all of the cloud gaming service I've tried, GeForce Now is one is really smooth compared to the rest. So they have something that works. They're already going through the Steam store. So why don't they just sell out to Steam? Right now, Steam can compete with the big dogs, and Nvidia don't have to worry about struggling to get AAA titles on their platform through going with Steam. It's just a thought. And I think personally that's a good get. So Nvidia, if you ever watch this, think about that, man. Seriously. Victor, what up? Brandon, what's good? T-Mac, what's that? Half-Life coming to Stadia. Yo, that would be nuts. That would be nuts. Half-Life coming to Stadia exclusively. That would be crazy. But again, if Steam buys out GeForce Now, that can be GeForce Now exclusive. And talk about making noise. Imagine they're like, yo, we just bought GeForce Now, we're taking cloud gaming seriously, and boom, we are going to be releasing Half-Life 3 exclusive to GeForce Now. Whoa. Seriously. Whoa. Anyway, so that is my con with GeForce Now. Just the fact that AAA titles are not same-day release on this platform. It can get really annoying and frustrating. But yeah, so overall though, I feel like, again, GeForce Now has a lot of pros going for it. I think it's about freaking time to get out of beta. It's been a long beta and people are ready to test out the final product. So that is GeForce Now. So we're going to move on to Stadia now. Again, I tried this out at PAX West, and my experience was this by far was one of the fastest experience, right? Not the smoothest, right? I give that to GeForce Now because they've been doing this for the longest time. But as far as like the fastest, as far as like starting a game, it was, I was shocked by how fast this booted. Again, I had an experience where I was playing, I think it was Mortal Kombat, and it crashed on me, and I seriously watched a Stadia rep come to my monitor, close what I was just doing, reopen it, and boot up Mortal Kombat for me right in front of my eye. And I seriously can't stress this enough. It was so fast how quick that booted up. And the cool thing about this, another con with Stadia is the fact that this all ran through a Chrome browser. It was as simple as open up a Google Chrome tab, and the game was a tab. So it's like you're playing a AAA title on the freaking Chrome tab. Yo, that blew my mind. Anyway, again, I feel like a pro for this is that this was one of the fastest experience. Like just booting up from you can call it even though it's not the official UI, but you can call the Chrome browser UI. So booting up from UI to an actual game is the fastest I've seen. You guys see me complain about GeForce Now, how long that nonsense takes to boot up. And I've read some of you guys' comments on how slow the Microsoft project Xcloud takes to boot up. But I do have to tell you with Stadia, it was pretty fast to boot up from UI or browser to game. And so that's a huge con with my experience with Stadia. The other big con with Stadia, I have to say, is the freaking controller. Y'all, I cannot stress that enough. We're less than 30 days away, and I cannot wait to see what you guys have to say about that controller. Again, I own a lot of controllers here. I own a PS4 controller. You guys saw the test that I did with those. I own a PS4 controller. I own a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I own an Xbox One controller. I have an OG Nvidia Shield controller here. And I also have the new one. I mean, I have all the controllers that you can ask for. And I personally think the Stadia controller feels way better than all of those controllers that I just listed. And that's why I'm excited for you guys to get to try it, so people will know I'm not crazy when I keep talking about how great this controller is. It feels really good, and that's a huge pro. That controller is good. And then also the whole, just being able to connect to the Google service to make latency to be minimal. That's also a pro. I don't think the other controllers with Xbox controller, I don't think it has that to where it reduces latency by connecting. I know if you do have an Xbox and you're running cloud with your Xbox, that helps with latency, but as far as like using the controller, I don't think that makes a difference. Even though they're saying it's going to, if you want to play on your smartphone, you're going to have to plug it in with wire. But I'm really interested to see how less of the latency we're going to get when we are actually playing through like our TV and the Chromecast with the controller. You said the controller was a con. I don't get that. Need to. All right, Happy Man. Thanks for coming, hanging out. Appreciate you for sure. You're on your way to work. Cool. I like to see Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Stadia. Hey, that can happen, man. Again, I think we're gonna get one more Stadia Connect. There's a lot of names for these shows now. You think Nintendo Direct, you think State of Play. So Stadia Connect. I think there's gonna be one more right before Stadia releases, which means that Connect should be freaking happening anytime soon now. But T-Mac, clarify what you mean by you said the controller was a con. I don't get that. Let me know what you mean by that. Yeah, Victor, you can't wait for the Founders. You're gonna love it. Seriously, I cannot wait to just hear y'all's experience with that controller. It's gonna be dope. But my con with my experience with Stadia was personally, I didn't have a lot of con. I would say for me though is how I feel like Google, I guess this is not directed towards Stadia, the system itself. It's more geared towards how Google is kind of not letting a lot of people. They're doing better now. We had a podcast, me and Chase, where we talked about the perception of Stadia changing. But I know for me, now I'm talking about my experience with Stadia, right? Just in general, my hands-on experience with it. It was kind of frustrating testing this out at PAX West because they were very restrictive. Now, I get the internet is a very dangerous place, and there's already a lot of people bashing Stadia, right? So they want to make sure that people have a decent experience with Stadia. So they were very controlling, very protective over Stadia. Like you couldn't play with someone looking over your shoulders, right? Again, they wouldn't let me record anything, so I had to sneak some recording. You guys saw my Snake Metal Gear status with my with all my previous videos when I was trying to sneak videos of Stadia. But my thing is, again, they're doing better with this, right? They let more people test this out. They're flying people, to events to test Stadia out, which I think is incredible. And they coming on podcasts like Stadia Cast to talk about Stadia. But back then when I tested this out, they were just so restrictive that I feel like it kind of ruined the experience for me, because I was seriously I felt rushed trying to test this out at PAX West. They didn't let you stay there long enough. Like you're playing, someone just tap you, okay, it's time to go. And then you go play in mobile, they'll tap you, okay, it's time to move on. And so you couldn't, even though I kept going back in line. Again, I played Mortal Kombat for 6 times and Doom for 5. I kept, going back in line, but it's just so restrictive when it came to my experience with testing this out. I just wish they would have been more open, right? Hey, you guys decided about Stadia. Like, do you have any questions? Do you want to record some videos? Do you want to, what do you want to know? What do you need to know? Let me make this a better experience for you to enjoy Stadia. But I felt like it was the opposite. They were actually it felt like personally they were trying to kick me out the booth. And it wasn't just me. I know you guys might say, that's because you were there trying to... it wasn't just me. I noticed people complained about that at PAX West too. It felt rushed. They didn't let you enjoy it. It was more of like, you got to taste peace. So I didn't like that. And so I would say, again, we're talking about experiences, not, Stadia hardware itself. But just based on my experience, I felt like I was rushed. I felt like I couldn't really enjoy it. I felt like people were always like watching over my back. So it didn't make an inviting experience to test out Stadia. But let me see. Gross said exposed. Were you able to play a game with another person? No, there wasn't no 2-player modes at PAX West. No, it was just they had different monitors. So 3 ways that you could have played there. They had monitors, they had tablets, and they have phones. So for the tablets, they had 1 tablet with Doom, they had 1 tablet with Mortal Kombat, and for all of the smartphones, it was only Mortal Kombat. And then for the Chromebooks or the monitors, they had 1 section for Mortal Kombat and then 1 section for Doom. But you couldn't play. They didn't have and that's another thing. Like, it would have been cool to see what multiplayer would have looked like, right? Have 2 controllers plugged into a Chromebook to be able to firstly show the Mortal Kombat. That would have been cool, but no, that was not available. I guess because it's not fully released, so they don't want him. Yes, I get that, Mel. I get that. I get they were trying to be protective. Like I said earlier, the internet is a dangerous place, again, with just a lot of people skeptical and having a negative reaction to Stadia. They're probably trying to protect, imagine if like I said when I made the video covering about my experience, I said I tried to crash it, and I'm a Stadia enthusiast, right? I love Stadia. I have a channel dedicated to Stadia and cloud gaming. I'm an enthusiast. I love this stuff. I want this to be successful. And me personally, I was trying to crash it because I want to know, is this service going to work? So I was trying to mash all the buttons together. I was trying to just move around so fast. I was trying to see if latency is going to be an issue. And of course, it held up pretty well. But that's just me, someone who is passionate and wants this to succeed. Can you imagine someone who doesn't like Stadia, one of these collector guys? They would have tried to just being real, mess it up and then record it and then have, negative ammo. So I get why they did what they did. But I guess in a way they could have made it more inviting. Yes, don't allow people to record, but don't rush people. I felt rushed. Again, it wasn't just me. A lot of people there felt get off my back, it felt like people were always just making sure, one, you weren't recording, which is understandable, but making sure all right, your time is up, peace, bounce, get out of here. So it wasn't a comfortable inviting experience. But I get what you're saying, Mel. It makes sense. You know, they don't want to stuff leaked. Makes sense. Ready to actually be exposed, so they probably switch some truth. Which do you think will be more exciting to the general audience? Which of these has the most? I'll get to that at AWR3. That will be what I close with, which I think will be the most successful. Which I think has the potential to be the most successful. So I'll get to that in a bit. Sorry, I can't text and chat. Too many people. What up, Cloud? I get them being protected. People go to E3, still them. Yeah, it's true, Gross. Yeah, people at these events, man, they people are crazy. You know, they pay a lot of money. They know this is like an annual event, so they're like, I went there with that mindset. I went there again. They didn't allow recording, but like, I paid money to come here. This is a once in a year type of deal. You know, they restricted my recordings because I wasn't a journalist, and so I was like, I pay money to come here. I have a YouTube channel. I'm gonna cover Stadia. I'm gonna get my footage. And so people do crazy things at these events, so it makes sense. Ace, I know you were playing MK offline when you went to PAX, but what about if you was playing online against someone else from a different server? Actually, that's a funny question, because you were saying I was playing offline, but you can't play Stadia offline. So I was actually streaming it through online, and I could have, because again, it's running through the service and stuff like that. So I could have played it online if that feature was available, but the demo I got to play wasn't available. So I couldn't test that feature out. Ace, I know. Okay. Someone in the rural area will have issues with cloud gaming. I can see that. True. I can see that for sure. But we'll see. We'll see when this becomes mainstream, if the cable companies will, work on, again, reducing data caps and extending the reach of the towers and stuff. We'll see. They're making sure they're in a Sony spot. How about my Ben-Hur meme? Haven't seen it. I'm in the MPA Nezra Press. Are you? Are you for real, Victor? Or is that? We have Gross trolling on this chat always. I'm always skeptical when people say things, man. So if you're for real, I apologize, man. But Gross is sitting here trolling 24/7. So I question some people sometimes, but that's cool if that's for real. Plot twist: he was playing PS4 the entire time. That's funny. All right, so. Again, I've covered all three, and I've covered my experience, pros and cons with all three. The fourth one, again, after this, I'm talking about who has the most potential to be successful when it comes to cloud gaming. Based on my experience, again, this is going to be different with other people, but this is just based on my experience. So let's talk about EA Atlas. So I personally don't think EA is in this to compete with the big dogs. First of all, I don't think they can. I don't think they can survive. Seriously, EA, yes, they're good third-party software companies, but they don't make consoles, right? They don't have the infrastructure that Microsoft or Google has. And they're not Sony, and Sony's like struggling right now with the PlayStation Now. So do I think EA is going to throw their hat into this race to compete with Microsoft and Google and Sony and potentially Nintendo later? I don't think so. I think what EA is going to end up doing is taking a Uplay Ubisoft approach, where they have their games, right? You pay a monthly fee and then you have access to the game library. And again, if you have Stadia, they'll make like a subscription pass to where you again pay monthly, and you'll be able to use those games on the services like you can with Uplay right now with GeForce. And I think the confirmed spring of next year will be available for Stadia. But my experience with EA Atlas is terrible. So no one, Stadia, right? They had the Project Stream last year where people got to play Assassin's Creed. Did you hear them say no one can record this, right? There wasn't any, when you got invited, there wasn't anything saying you couldn't record this. People recorded it, put it on YouTube so everyone else can see. People were thinking Microsoft will have restrictions when it comes to recording, with this project. I feel like they should, because the service sucks when it comes to latency. It's terrible. I'm like, how are they even okay with the public testing this out right now? It was for me personally, it was a terrible experience. EA is, again, GeForce Now has been in beta for almost 2 years now, and you don't see them restricting coverage. EA is the only company that is not allowing anyone to stream their games, to take pictures, take videos, record their gameplay, to post it on YouTube or any other social media. That right there, my friend, says a lot about the service. My experience was trash, honestly speaking. I played the games on there was Titanfalls, Need for Speed, I forgot which one, was that FIFA 19 or 20 was last. It was 2 years ago, FIFA. They put like a 2-year-old FIFA on this platform. Not even last year. It was FIFA 19 on there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it was, FIFA 19. And then this other cute platform game, I don't remember what the Unrival, whatever that nonsense was called. Terrible experience. FIFA ran like trash. The best game, which surprised me, was Need for Speed. That precision being really important, I'm like, that game is gonna struggle the most. But out of all those 4 games, that played the best. Titanfalls was trash, like unplayable. And Unraveled, you would think it was less graphically intense. It was a platform, and you think that would run smooth. But that ran like trash, man. It's like, yo, what is this? So the fact that they restricted coverage says a lot about this service. It's not ready for prime time at all. And so, again, what I think they're going to do with EA Atlas is offer a subscription model. There's no way. I can see them competing with Sony, Google, and, potentially Nintendo and Microsoft. They just can't. They don't have the firepower, But anyway, it's pretty good though to see them thinking about it. There's rumors of Square Enix, potential again the race eventually. So that's gonna be fun. So what I predict with all these third-party companies, what I hope happens, right? If you guys haven't tried Uplay yet, Ubisoft's Uplay, it's honestly the best. No, actually, I feel like Xbox Game Pass is the best gaming deal, hands down, period. But if you haven't tried Uplay yet, you pay $15 a month to get access to all of Ubisoft's games. Yo, let me repeat that. You pay $15 a month to get access to all of Ubisoft games. You can play Assassin's Creed, Odyssey, get sick of it, hop right into Rainbow Six, get sick of it, hop right into Ghost Recon Breakpoint. They have a new release, day one release on that platform. So that's where I see third-party EA Atlas whenever Square Enix decides to release theirs. That's what I see happening, right? You pay $15, you have access to all of the library, and imagine like it's a still, but imagine multiple people doing that, and like just every month resubscribing. I think that can be beneficial. Actually, I'm scratching my head trying to figure out how companies can profit this way, but I see that being the future though. Uplay is doing it, and Xbox is doing it as well. So I see Sony eventually taking that approach, and I think EA and Square Enix might go that route as well. Yo, Johnny Live, what's good, bro? What is good? Regenerate, degenerate. Love the name. What is good? All right, no one's talking about Ubisoft Uplay. Yo, it's gonna be so. I'm debating actually, Victor, because with Stadia releasing next month, I'm like, yo, do I seriously want to sit here? Because these Ubisoft titles are gonna be available for sale on Stadia, right? You're gonna have Assassin's Creed, obviously. You're gonna have Rainbow Six. You're gonna have Wildlands. I'm sitting there scratching my head. Like, do I seriously want to pay $60 for Ghost Recon Breakpoint when in about 3 months or so I can pay $15 a month and have access to that game plus all of Ubisoft's other title? But yeah, people are not talking about Uplay, and that deal is freaking incredible. And it's really cool to see Stadia. It's cool to know that they're gonna get it and they're gonna have it for sure. Let's see. Okay, I think like go Stadia now, team up with Microsoft and Gabe. Yeah, these rumors of Sony getting serious about cloud gaming with PS5. I'm really excited. Again, the beauty about this channel is, yes, we're gonna cover Stadia heavily, but it's called cloud gaming for a reason. We're not just restricted to just Stadia, we covered GeForce Now here. You guys have seen videos of Project Xcloud. So whenever Sony, even Nintendo, when they decide to go the streaming route, best believe we're gonna cover it on here. But Stadia definitely is gonna get priority. But the cool thing about this channel, again, we get to cover other things. It's fun. I hate being restricted to. I'm a techie. If you guys didn't know that about me, my previous channel, which we converted into just a Nintendo Switch channel, but it originated as a tech channel. It was a tech and gaming channel. Then we took out the tech. We now have a separate YouTube channel, a third YouTube channel that just covered tech, and then we have this channel. So we have 3 channels. But I love tech. I love it. So whatever Sony decides to do in Nintendo, best believe that we're gonna cover that here as well. We need Battlefield 5. Oh shoot, or Call of Duty to actually get. Activision and EA are the two big. I mean, we just got Rockstar involved, right? So all this left really is Activision, EA, and we have one more Stadia Connect before the system releases. So be expecting something similar, not similar, something to be talked about with EA and Activision in the next Connect. I'll be surprised if they're not involved in Stadia's launch. EA has been, even though lately they've been sucking with, but EA normally has, when a system launched, they used to be really good at providing games right away. You look at PS4, you look at, you have your Maddens, your FIFAs. They're always good with supporting launch titles. But they haven't been doing that great with Nintendo Switch. So that's why I'm a little skeptical. But overall, they've had a good track record. So I think we might see them support Stadia at launch. But it's going to be interesting to see what they announce in the next Connect for sure. Let's see. But yeah, it'll be so dope to get Battlefield and COD. My goodness. Count me in. Victor says Far Cry. That's a dope game too. Again, all included with the Uplay service, y'all. You guys have to try that if you haven't yet. Oh my goodness, such a steal. And people are trashing it like I don't know why. Yeah. I love Ubi. Yeah. The thing with Ubisoft games though, like if you guys haven't been following the review for Breakpoint, they say they make it open world and add a lot unnecessary things just for the sake of it. And I feel like that's kind of true. I was really excited for Breakpoint, and I was playing. I was like, yo, what the hell am I playing? What is this? This is not, it's like they tried to throw in everything in that, like a little of Division, a little of Destiny. It just lost its identity. So I do see why people kind of are upset with Ubisoft. But I love Rainbow Six Siege. I love how they haven't changed that game. Yes, they added new operators and a little new mode, but that game is still solid, and I love that they're not messing anything up with that game. And so for me personally, that's one that I might pick up for Stadia at launch. But yeah, Ubisoft do have some good games, even though lately they've been just adding a lot of unnecessary stuff to the games. But let's see. What FPS and Stadia should I get? Hey, Haji. I hope I'm saying your name right. FPS. It depends what you're getting the free game with Destiny. You're getting the free FPS. I still think Destiny by far it's gonna be one of those games that again, it's coming for free if you get the Founders Pack. It's gonna be one of those games that are gonna keep a lot of people busy for a long time. There's so much, especially like if you're just getting into Destiny for the first time, there is so much content to that game. Seriously, people are going to be playing that game for a long time. What makes Destiny so fun? It has PvP elements, right? So if you're into like competitive playing, you have the multiplayer in there. You can verse against, your friends if you want, or you can play against, computers. But if you're serious about PvP, it's there. You have raids, which I think Destiny does raids better than any other game that I know, especially like shooting games. The raids are so fun, very tactical. You need great team chemistry, great coordination. I feel like it's a good game, right, to get right off the bat for free with Stadia. So if you're looking for an FPS, if you like games like Halo, if you like looter shooters like Division, definitely give Destiny a look. I think you'll be satisfied with it. But then you have Borderlands 3, which I've streamed on this channel on GeForce Now. It's a good game, but personally I feel like Sunny and I were playing it and we both came to the same resolution. We were like, all right, this is dry. Like, it's getting boring now. It's good when you first start it, and then it's just like, I don't know, it loses its flavor really, really quickly. But don't forget, again, like we've talked about with Ubisoft, you get all of their games at launch. So Rainbow Six Siege is a game that I'm going to be picking up for sure. That game is a hell lot of fun. I've been playing it since it released on the PS4. It's very tactical. If you like games like SOCOM, oh my goodness, this game is right up your alley. So FPS, I would say look into Destiny, look at Rainbow Six. You have Rage 2, which went under a lot of people's radar, but it's a decent game. So definitely check out Rage 2. That should be coming at launch too. So you have games to pick from, which is a good problem to have. You're not just limited to one FPS. You have several FPS to pick from, which is cool. All right, so just trying to catch up in the chat. Is Uplay available? All right, let me back up a little bit. Okay, sorry, I can't. Okay, got that. Is Uplay available in Stadia or Xcloud? Right now, Uplay is going to be available in the spring of next year for Stadia. Right now on Xcloud, the only games that are available is those 4 games I mentioned: Halo, Gears of War 5, Killer Instinct, and Sea of Thieves. That's all. There's no Uplay availability. All right, so, and I'm happy. Cool. Let's see, bro, I'm trying to wait for Red Dead 2 for Stadia. I don't know if I... You almost there, Johnny Live, man. You almost there. Less than 30 days, bro. Yeah. Like I had that game on the PS4 and I was playing it, and that's when I was like into my Nintendo. Nintendo Switch spoiled me. For some of those guys who know me from the Sunnyside TV on Nintendo Switch channel, when Switch came out, like it made it difficult for me to play games like to play my PS4 and Xbox One. So it spoiled me. And I remember Red Dead came out last year. I forgot what game came out last year that I was really into, and I chose to play the Switch over Red Dead. But I told myself eventually that's going to come out on PC. I need to play Red Dead on a portable device, right? On GeForce Now, on my tablet, on my Microsoft Surface Pro 6 laptop PC. I was like, I need something portable. And so I told myself I'm going to wait. So it's releasing on Stadia, so I'm going to finish up, which is cool. I have a little, you guys saw the video I did recently with, when I compared the Switch to cloud gaming. I created like a little portable gaming device. I just picked up a Pixel phone to prepare for Stadia, and I got the grip thing with the Xbox controller. So that is like my portable gaming device. So I'm using that as my Switch now. So heck yeah, I'm gonna play the heck out of Red Dead on the Stadia. But I get what you're saying, yo. It's hard as hell to wait for sure. All right, let me. I'm getting so off topic. Let me just. I'm gonna read some more of this and then just get right back on track. Let's see. Doom Eternal coming out next year, but we can play this in 2, right? Yeah, Borderlands 3. Yeah. Yo, oh my goodness. If Doom would have launched for this, man, it would have been so dope. This would have been like imagine like getting Red Dead and Doom for Stadia. Holy shnikes, that would have been an epic launch of a system. That would have been so dope. Such a bummer Doom was delayed. That was another game I got to try out at PAX West on Stadia, and it ran really great. So it's kind of a bummer. We are going to be missing out on that. When's the next Stadia Connect? We don't know for sure. But we think this gaming event is going to be happening later this year. I mean, this month, this year. And people are speculating that we'll see it there. So we'll see. It should be soon, though. The console is going to be releasing under a month now. So it should be soon. Rainbow Six, great games. Yeah, Rainbow Six is going to be... I love that game. Yeah, so, okay, cool. Yeah, check out Nintendo needs to start real close. Yeah, this talks about them partnering up with Microsoft to release something. So we'll see. We'll see. They've tested cloud gaming in Japan with Resident Evil. I think it was 7, right? They had it to where you can stream in the cloud, which a lot of people said it was a terrible experience, but we'll see what happens. Let's see. Red Dead's a quiet taste. Yeah, my PS4 Red 2. Can't wait to play Google Stadia. Yeah, Stadia's oof. Can't wait. It's almost here, y'all. All right, happy. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. Load times in Xbox was so slow. Hopefully it gets better. We'll see how Stadia does with load times. Hopefully it's better than consoles, but we'll see. All right, so again, I talked about my experience with Microsoft Project Xcloud, talked about pros and cons on that, on GeForce Now, on Stadia, right? And give you a little about my experience with EA Atlas. So now to summarize everything of who I think out of all these companies have the chance of coming out on top. Personally, this is tough. The reason I say tough, I think they all have a chance. And I think like looking at the pros and cons, if they can fix the cons, so imagine, right, if Steam gets serious. I know this is like a far stretch, but imagine if Steam gets serious about cloud gaming and purchases GeForce Now. That service then becomes a great competitor. Correct? Right? They become a great competitor, and then you can throw them. I mean, Steam is a big name, right? Nvidia is a big name. So now you have like another, big pillar in this race. Microsoft, personally, I feel they have something great going, right? Because their Xbox Game Pass, I feel like, is one of the best best subscription service. And then if they can add Xcloud to that service, right? So not only you getting all those games for free, getting same day release as AAA titles, but then you are paying $15. Again, you have all that library, and then you get Xcloud for free with that for $15 a month. That's a steal, right? Stadia, I feel like can do really, really well. But I feel like when it comes to games, they are the furthest behind because, again, this is a new platform for them. They're coming with 40 games to begin with. Yes, they're going to, quickly add games to the library. But I feel like this is new to them. So 40 games is a lot at launch. Don't get me wrong. It's great. But if you're looking at the backlog catalog of Steam with hundreds and thousands of games, and then you're looking at Microsoft today able to bring the whole backwards compatibility, that's like 3,000 games. So those platforms have the edge when it comes to games. Again, Stadia being new, but out of all of these companies, I'm more excited for Google Stadia, and I'll tell you why. I feel like Google people think Google is, might close this off, and they're like, all right, what's going to happen to all the games I purchased? That. I think Google is very serious about this platform. And I think the reason I say this is because if you take a look at what's happening in the gaming industry right now, you can tell that these companies' hands are being forced to respond to what Google is doing with Stadia. I mean, look at a big company like Sony is trying to push PlayStation Now. Guys, that is not a freaking coincidence that they're reducing the price, they add more games. It says a lot about what Google is doing in the gaming market with Stadia. And then of course you have, Microsoft. People are speculating that they are trying to work with Nintendo and Sony for the cloud gaming just because they see Stadia is a threat. Now, I don't know for sure if all of that is true, but I can tell you I am most excited for Stadia because I love Google. Again, I'm a techie. I use most of the service. I'm highly invested in the ecosystem, and I think if one company can pull this off, is them. Again, they have the infrastructure to do it, and I feel like they're serious. They're not playing around. They're hiring the right people, right? They get in big games. They get in third-party big games, AAA games on this platform already at launch. To say they're not serious is a joke, right? So they want to be successful. And again, I think if anyone can do this, is them. So who do I think has the best chance of coming out on top among all of these? I definitely think is Google Stadia for sure. But I think Microsoft is going to be right behind them. Again, they have the money to combat. I mean, you see them purchasing a lot of, first party studios and games. They have the second, apart from Amazon, they have the closest, biggest infrastructure to Google, right? I mean, GeForce Now is, piggybacking of Amazon's service, right? But Xbox have their own thing going for them, Azure, right? So I believe we can see Project Xcloud at a close second when it comes to this cloud gaming war. And then who knows what's going to happen with GeForce Now? I seriously can't tell you. Where's Amazon? That's a great question. Great question. We don't know. There's been speculation that Amazon kind of fired some people in the gaming division when around the same time GDC, when Stadia was announced and unveiled. And there's been rumors and speculation was because they were supposed to be competing in this area, and people were speculating that Google was so far ahead in advance, Stadia was, that they just got upset. This is a joke. I don't know if this is true, but that's a rumor that they just got upset by the, how far along Stadia was, and they just started, firing people and shutting down the gaming. But we'll see. Amazon. They like to compete with Google. We've seen that with Amazon, Echo and the assistant and stuff like that. So they might be sleeping right now, but be expecting them to make noise. Maybe next year we'll see something from Amazon. Alright, so which is better? Hopefully that answers your questions. I might head to bed. Alright, Gross, man. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Also, alright, thanks for that, man. Appreciate that. 5G and Wi-Fi 6 is the equal truth. Starlink is the glory. It's the glory. True. Where's Amazon? Truth. Alright, cloud gaming has been around for a while, but now that Stadia's entered the scene, everyone knows that have exactly Kenny G. Exactly. We had on live a while ago, bro. Again, GeForce Now has been doing this thing for almost 3 years now. If you count the old OG GeForce Now, before they went into beta almost 2 years ago. All right. So I hope that covers it. Let me know what your thoughts are. Again, after this airs, you guys can rewatch it for the people who missed it. Again, my podcast is going to be 9:30 every Mondays. And the truth of the matter is, this is me going solo, but most podcasts I'm going to try to have a guest on here. Again, like I said in this video, in the beginning of this video, to me it's important that, we have people who are passionate about Stadia and creators who talk highly and positively about Stadia instead of all this big YouTubers talking negatively about Stadia. And again, that's why this channel was created. So I want to, if there's any, creators who want to get on this podcast, we've had several so far, but shoot me a message in Discord. Let me know, big or small. If you want a shout out, if you're a small creator and looking to get into, starting a YouTube channel and you want exposure, let me know. We'll get you on here. We'll get the word out. It's all about definitely growing this community, getting it bigger, and having people who are excited about cloud gaming and Stadia and talking positively about it. That's why this channel was created. All right, fellas, thank you for watching. Appreciate you guys. You guys were awesome. Hope I did a good job, talking to all y'all in the chat. And I will catch you next Monday at 9:30, same time, different topic. All right, fellas, till next time. Peace.